What a game. So many ups and downs, and we were one rebound away. And then they got a chance at the end, and DeRozan hit a shot, and then, then we're back. Then we're in overtime. So disappointing. It's a gut punch. Unfortunately, this is all part of meaningful games. When you make minor mistakes at the wrong times, it can really bite you. And there were a lot of them, and myself included. So once again, we gotta learn from it and get ready for Saturday.
With so many moments and big plays in the final 5 minutes in overtime, I'm curious what you thought of your team's execution in the last stretch of this game.
Well, a lot of things were very positive. Myles getting open for those 2 threes that got us a 3-point lead. Those were huge plays, and those were plays playing off of our best players. So, and then talked about the foul to give situation, or the fouling up 3 situation, and that's one of the dangers, is that if you can't rebound, it can bite you. So DeRozan hit a great shot, and in overtime we just didn't do enough positive things.
When Myles came in late, he hit those big threes, but guys couldn't get quite enough stops even when you were doubling DeRozan. Defensively late, did you think it was just the Bulls executing well? Was it something specifically about your defense that you couldn't get the stops in OT? What did you think kind of tipped the scales?
Well, we had to commit 2 to him on a lot of those plays. When we didn't, he was scoring or getting fouled. And so, players like that put you in a bind. Pretty simple. And, it becomes make or miss on threes. They hit a couple of hellacious late clock threes, but those, NBA players make those kinds of shots pretty routinely. And so you've got to be ready to get the ball and go back and attack. And so, disappointing result, but there were a lot of things that we did that were courageous. I thought our second unit, really played at a high level. We didn't have a great start. They got us the lead in the second quarter, I think. Yeah, and then we were down going into the fourth, and then they got us a lead there, and it was just it was a roller coaster. But that's why you have a team. Sometimes the starters play great, and the bench struggles. When everybody plays great, it's awesome. Everybody's happy. But the world we're living in right now is a world of microscopic detail, and came up a little short.
To stick a little bit on the second unit first off, what you talked about Jarace beforehand. You obviously got a bunch of minutes tonight. Just what you like about what he did offensively, and you also he had the DeRozan assignment for a little bit there. Just what you like about what he did on both ends.
Yeah, I thought he played well. Played well last night, and tonight there were more minutes, and I thought he earned the minutes in the second half, and then the minutes later in the game in overtime. Look, he's going to be a tremendous player for us. I mean, what other questions do you have about him? If you're doing a Jarace story, I'm happy to give you whatever you want.
I've asked a bunch, but I just want to know.
Yeah, I mean, this is everybody's at the grown-ups table right now. It's and that's a lot of what this is about. And this is why back-to-backs are challenging. And so, I think we have one more. I guess it's out in L.A., the back-to-back there. So just got to keep working every day, getting better.
You mentioned the rebound before. I mean, I'm not sure what kind of angle you had on it or what he said or anything like that. Did he have a chance to put 2 hands on it, or did he just get a hand on it and try to get it out of there? I mean, what was the,
I haven't talked to him about it. I don't think we should focus on one play. I don't think we should focus on one player here. I mean, we win and lose as a team. And even when the ball was knocked out of bounds, we had a chance to get one more stop, and we're unable to do it. And there were mistakes made there too. So, hey, we gotta keep being positive. We gotta keep learning. Tomorrow's a much needed day off. Friday's an important prep day, and Brooklyn is a dangerous team coming in here, and so we got to be ready.
Myles, so many moments and swings in the final, 5 minutes of regulation and overtime of this game. What do you think of you guys as a team's general execution and kind of that stretch of the game?
Man, our defense just wasn't good enough. I think we just, obviously DeRozan hit some big shots and, he's a special player, but as a whole, I don't think we were there. Just that last part, these are tough nights and back-to-backs, but this time of the year, there's no excuses. He's going to find a way to get it done. We gave ourselves a fighting chance and came up short.
You're trapping a guy like DeRozan, and the Bulls are still scoring. Did you sense it was defensive breakdowns by you guys? Was that just them executing against those traps? Why couldn't you guys get enough stops?
Yeah, it's a combination of both. Obviously, they executed well, but I think that we shot ourselves in the foot a couple times as well. So, like I said, overall, it's a tough end to the night. It could have been a good stretch, but it is what it is.
Being up 3 with just a few seconds left. Does this one hurt more than a regular game to you in any way?
I'm sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
I want to ask you about the shots you made. Just put yourself in the position. Just what kind of opened up for you on those opportunities, basically. And you guys had a tough night, knocking them down all night. Just what it mean for you to kind of see a couple go down to put you guys selves in that position.
Ty obviously made some good plays. Our high pick and pop, pick and roll is this. It's been a good combination for us all year. And, I had some big shots, but like I said, it just wasn't enough.
Like you said, what makes DeRozan as tough a cover as he is, especially in that type of situation when a guy's that good at making tough twos? Is he kind of the one guy you really don't want to see in those spots?
Yeah, at this stage in his career, is probably not a defensive coverage he hasn't seen. You know what I mean? I think he's just very patient. Shot making is obviously big in his mid range, and he had a big night.
Just how important was the second unit for you guys tonight? Obviously, after coming back off of back-to-back when you were on the road last night, had a big win last night. Just how important were those guys in keeping you guys in and putting you guys in a position?
They played really well. I thought that especially in that second quarter, third quarter, they played really well and, gave us a chance. But nothing different than they've done all season.
Jalen, such a roller coaster of a game late. I'm curious what you thought of your team's execution kind of the last 5 minutes of this game and in overtime.
I think we executed right. DeMar DeRozan, he's DeMar DeRozan. He's mid-range killer. Future Hall of Famer. You gotta give props when props is due. Sometimes sometimes there's they say great defense with better offense, and he just hit the shot. You can't blame no single person on it. He's just a great player and hit a shot. I feel as though that we all did what the coaches wanted us to do. We knew what was coming. He just hit the shot.
What did when he's rolling like that, and you guys even start doubling him, but it's still allowing the Bulls to score? What else do you feel like you guys even could have done defensively, if anything, or is it just a case of him just hitting everything like that?
It was just a case of getting the ball out of his hands. Like I said, great players are gonna find ways to win games, and that's what he did. He got off the ball and got right back onto it, and knowing that after the team gets out of a double team, it's gonna be tough to come right back into a double team after the ball's been kicked out. So I was like, he feasted on that, and he just made plays out of it.
Obviously, second unit, you guys were, way big on the plus-minus tonight. How important was it for you guys coming off a back-to-back, especially when you were on the road last night, for you guys to bring a spark, and how do you guys feel like you did as far as that was concerned?
I feel as though we did our job. Obviously, as a second unit, there's no time to warm up coming into the game. You got to come into the game right immediately, and I feel as though that everybody played their part. We hit shots, we got stops. I think we got a lead at one point, just keeping that energy up and keeping everybody into the game, Obviously, when the second unit comes in and you see them doing great, that gives even more of an energy boost for the first unit to come in and do great. And I feel as though that's something that we capitalized on today. Obviously, we came off a back-to-back, but there's no excuse. These last couple games, we got to dig down and win them if we want to get to where we want to get to.
Like you said, there's no excuse or anything like that. But how is the second night different? Basically, when obviously, especially when you're coming off travel, there's going to be some fatigue there. What's what changes for you guys again? How is, I guess, maybe the burden different for the second unit to keep those guys up when you know that, a lot of them played 35 minutes last night?
I mean, yeah, it's tough. Like you said, the traveling coming. I think we had like a 2-hour flight last night, plus a time difference. It's like it's going to be tough, but at the end of the day, this is what we signed up for. We big boys, we professionals. We play in the NBA. You're going to have back-to-backs. You got to be able to play the first game like you played the second game. I mean, obviously for the first unit, it's tougher for them because they start and finish games. Obviously with OKC, I think we didn't really get a big lead on them, so it was tough for them, for the coach, take them out and have them sit. So they had to come out and do it all over again and start all over again today. So, but like I said, I feel as though that we did everything that the coaches wanted us to do tonight. It just came down to a great player hitting a great shot.
Ball bounces a different way, and we're talking about your third straight win. When you look back at all of it, how do you evaluate tonight?
I feel like it was a hard-fought night, especially coming off back-to-back, but I feel like we came in with no excuses, came ready to play, but like you said, I guess the ball just didn't fall our way tonight.
Rick Carlisle saying in the press conference a moment ago there are a lot of positives on a night like tonight. It can be tough to take those away when you lose, but are you able to hold on to some of what went well here this evening?
Yeah, for sure. Just our willingness on defense. We had a good couple of defensive quarters, so just continuing to lock in on that side of the ball and just let our offense take care of itself.
You're regularly starting to get minutes, regularly getting into the rotation. You hit a couple of significant threes tonight. What is the regular playing time doing for you, and when you're able to deliver in these moments, what does it do for your confidence?
The confidence really just comes from the work that you put in every single day, so just always coming into the gym, being ready to work, being able to get better than that, and being able to showcase that on the NBA floor. And it's also big just be able to just gain the coach's trust and just knowing that he trusts me in those positions to take those shots and knock them down.
On the other side of the floor, can you feel yourself growing when at times you're switched on to DeMar DeRozan?
Yeah, for sure. And even if that's my starting matchup, I'm perfectly fine with that. I feel like that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to defend their other team's best players and just do what I can to make it tough for them.
This is the final long homestand of the regular season here. 2 games still coming up on it. Do you view this as an opportunity as you get about a month of the season left after tonight?
Yeah, most definitely. Just being able to key in on this final month, just finish with a strong finish.
Jarace obviously got a lot more minutes tonight. You were in some interesting situations. You were guarding DeRozan for a while. What was your kind of just total read of your performance tonight?
I feel like I played well offensively and defensively. I feel like I could have rebounded a little bit better, but in terms of my overall game, I feel like it was a solid night.
How much of a responsibility do you feel like the second unit had tonight, especially coming off a back-to-back, to give you guys some spark? I think a bunch of you guys were at least plus 10 and plus minus. Just how important was that for you guys to step up tonight?
I felt like it was big, especially like you said, the second night of a back-to-back. Starters with a little heavier legs, so our bench unit just being ready to go in and make an impact and just defend and do whatever we can to go to the league.
Rick's talked about when you come in being a little more physical recently. What kind of messaging has he had with you about what your impact needs to be, and do you feel like you've kind of lived up to what you needed to do?
I feel like I'm still working towards that, obviously, early into rotation that I'm starting to get into. Just always having a defensive mentality first, like you're saying, being physical, fighting over screens, rebounding, and then just kind of let the offense take care of itself.
Where do you feel like you stand? Earlier in the season, you talked about your gambles on the defensive end. Do you feel like you've cut back on that well? What kind of progress do you think of that?
Yeah, most definitely. If I was guarding DeMar in the earlier season, I probably would have fouled out, honestly. So, honestly, just being around the game and just studying different players and knowing the tendencies of different players and when to gamble, when not to gamble is definitely major, especially in crunch time and when possessions matter.
What did you think of the roller coaster that was the last 5 minutes of this game and the overtime?
It was unexpected, crazy, but that's part of the NBA. Big time players make big time shots, so anything can happen. You always just got to stay ready and just bring whatever you can to the game.
Just what was that cover like for you in the minutes that you did have DeRozan? Just what was it like to keep in front of you? Know that he's always got that mid-range thing in the back of his pocket. What's he just like to deal with and knowing what he's capable of?
I feel like I almost try to give him space because he's good with contact and drawing fouls. So just playing a little bit back, but also being an arm's reach to contest a shot is big. But sometimes you just have to live with tough tools. So when he knocks those down, you just pat him back and just keep rolling.
You ever defended anybody like that before?
I guarded KD a little bit in Phoenix, but that's a whole different kind of guy.
But it's like similar to shot making, just not the same kind of.
Yeah. Like you could play good defense, and sometimes better offense, good defense. So I feel like just those situations, you can't dwell on it. Just got to move on and just get the ball up quick, keep it running.